something in OBS, doesn't it? Testing? I'm just gonna have to deal with it. I'll figure it out later. I mean, I have off tomorrow, so it's fine. Also, I closed up the game just to make sure that OBS wouldn't, fucking... So, I'm just gonna say fuck all of it, and we're just gonna hop straight into the game. Like I said, I will be doing some Pokemon on Saturday, and this could go longer than I would like. This could go longer than as long as I want. Actually, no, it doesn't. I still do kind of want to be up earlier. But seriously, can someone in chat tell me if you hear me double? So that I know that it's more of a fact that I have to fix it. Vita Garden University grounds were dead quiet. It was after 11 p.m. Some of the labs worked all night into the morning, so the place wasn't completely abandoned. But compared to the daytime, it was quiet. The lights in the halls were off, and it was a little scary walking down them alone. Mama lived in the researcher's apartment next to the lab. She'd been thinking about so many things that night. Her head felt like it was going to explode. Then she looked out the window and realized that the lights were still on in the brain science lab. Dr. Luskin must have been working late. She decided to put some coffee in the thermos and take it to him.
そもそもなんで私はタイムマシンの研究なんかに没頭しているのかしら。
Anyways, ever since she's come back from Japan in January, she spent all of her free time on it, even if she had to admit that she was getting obsessed. Well, now she really is Maki. Of course, since it wasn't something she could research in public, since she couldn't let it interfere with her real
私の部屋から明かりが見えたものですか
Can I
ら。
see the light on?
これ、
I can see the light on from my room here. The cup on Dr. Luskin's desk was empty. She poured him some coffee from the thermos. It wasn't the sticky sweet cafe à la lettre that she liked, but she made it straight black to match the professor's taste. The room was filled with steam and a pleasant smell. I would have to disagree with you there, because I don't like the smell of coffee. This is a surprise. Maho bringing me coffee.
私だって
I'm not that bad, am I? I thought you hated this sort of thing. As I recall, it was the first day you came to this lab. Mary was passing out morning coffee to everyone, and you refused. And you do remember that, what you said then. Did you come to work to make coffee? If you got time to make coffee, why not get started on your work? I was in awe. I remember. This new kid was really something. That was such a long time ago. You don't need to bring it up now. Maho's cheeks swelled in embarrassment. Oh, Bobos. Back then, I was, well, everybody called me the girl genius. And I kind of let it go to my head. I know better now. Mary was another scientist at the lab. After Maho has apologized, they had gone to be friends. You're so mean, Professor. I'm never making you coffee again. Okay? Just as she was thinking of taking the coffee, she poured back. That's right, Professor. Don't be so mean to Maho. She heard a voice from Dr. Lutzkin's computer. Oh, Crystal? Yeah, it's me. I was just examining her program. She moved around where she could see the monitor, and sure enough, Pastor's CG model was displayed on it. Good evening, Maho. Sorry to see you working so late. Maho chuckled to herself. Pastor was just a program running on a computer, but she still couldn't stop herself from saying things like that. After all the time they spent together, Pastor was no different than a human to her. Not being mean to Maho. I was actually quite impressed with what she said to Mary. I thought she was very logical, very cool-headed, and very entertaining. That's why I made her my assistant. Of course. I don't mind the new, nicer version of you. Dr. Luskin gave her a wink as she reached for his coffee cup. Thanks. I'll have some. As he drank his coffee, he grabbed the corner of his eyelids to give them a little massage. He was acting cheerful, but evidently he was really tired. No shit, he's probably been up all day. So what were you doing with the program? Oh, you know, from the paper I'm writing. The mechanism Amadeus used to lie. If we could figure out this part of the program, we could learn more about how humans lie, you know? Women's lies are sometimes hide in the important secrets. I can't say I approve of you trying to discover them. Pastor's expression was deadly serious. I'm not trying to discover your secrets. I just want to know the thought process involved in telling a lie. Well, that's fine. I have to reveal something. I'll start by revealing Maho's sweet secret. Hey! Don't be weird! my sweet secrets anyways. And she's madly in love with Okurin, obviously. Oh, I couldn't say. She played dumb. Sometimes the Kasuri like to joke around. It was infuriating, and at the same time, kind of cute. Yeah. Kasuri is so cute. She's like the little. For example, you think I don't know about the stuffed animal that he got you at the arcade? You're the one who told him to get it for you! Get it for her. Huh? Oh, Maho doesn't know that Kasuru was the one who told Okurin to get it for her. The first thing she thought of when she heard the word arcade is that a power of Japan. She tried so many times to get that stuffed animal and failed each time. Rantoro has won it easily and given it to her. What about it? You got it on your bed, don't you? What are you talking about? That's a present for your mom. Then what is it doing on your bed? Because your mom says she's looking for a new house and she's living in an apartment right now. I don't want to give it to her more stuff to haul around. Really? Really? She's absolutely lying. And anyways, that stuffed animal is an important reminder of you. What's wrong with snuggling with it as I sleep? Oh, so it is all in your bed, after all. And you snuggle with it when you sleep. That's so cute! Tell me details, please. Ugh. That stupid computer program would have tricked her. By the time she realized it was already too late. Both Kasser and Dr. Luskin, who has been listening the whole time, were smiling at her. She glared at her cheeks flushed. Looks like Kasser who won this round, huh? It doesn't matter who won or lost! I'm going to bed. Good night! And she turned to leave Dr. Liskin's office fuming. But before she could leave, Kasser got one more final parting shot. Maho! You haven't talked to Okabe for a whole week. If you keep putting off talking to him because you're busy, you're gonna regret it later, okay? Listen. Are you really that interested in getting me and Okabe together? I'm interested. So I'm never gonna meet over to the monitor, but Kasser seemed unconcerned. Do you ever think about seeing him in person again? Nope. That's a lie. I see. That's a shame. For some reason, Dr. Liskin shook his head sadly. I got another joint project coming up in Japan. I was thinking of getting in touch with Lintaro while I was there. I was wondering whether I should invite you. I guess not. Huh? She heard nothing about this. Most of the time, whenever the professor had a project coming up, she heard about it through the Squirrel's network ahead of time. Going back to Japan? Yeah. She had to stop herself from immediately saying that she wanted to go too. She did lock the dance and Kasser would make fun of her. Oh, come on! Just a minute. You love him. But she didn't want to miss this chance. There's still a lot she needed to do in Japan. More than anything, she wanted to talk to Rintaro in person about the time machine and about Katsuru. If it was definitely not because she just liked to talk to him. No, it's definitely not at all. She's definitely not such a... Take me. In the end, she gave in. Oh, you finally become honest about your feelings. Let's come up with a plan to tell him how much you love him. Come on, guys. No, don't worry, Katsura can just do it. I was starting to get tired of dealing with them. Well, joking aside, I'm honestly not sure if I can take you or not. What do you mean? A lot that's happened to you in Japan, right? The brain science lab is very concerned. That's not... And then there's what happened to Katsuru. The directors don't want to lose any more talented personnel. I'll be fine! I was fine last time, wasn't I? In other words, you want to go to Japan and see Rintaro that badly, huh? It's for completely professional reasons, I swear! Do I need to go talk to HR about sexual harassment? Oh, please! Don't do that! Why not seriously consider dating him? It's possible he'll be coming here in the future, right? You should try to get your hopes texting him while you can. Stop sounding like a noisy aunt. Alright, Maho. I understand. I'll talk to the director. But just know, I can't guarantee anything. Right. Thanks. I'm pretty serious, actually. Are you still saying that? I feel like she was talking... It really felt like she was talking to Katsura. That feeling was much stronger than when they first started it on Amadeus. That reminded her of something that she almost done many times, but stopped. One time about Katsura about the time machine. She doesn't know if Katsura had completed the time machine theory before her test, but she had. Some clues might be hidden in Katsura's memories. Of course, she couldn't ask her in front of Dr. Luskin, and she couldn't let the others hear what she was making the time machine. If the rest of the lab found out, they would make fun of her for sure. It wasn't even her research field to begin with. Okay, Professor. I'm going back to my room. Mama took her to her most and was about to leave the lab. Oh, wait a second. You haven't updated Maho's memories data at all lately, have you? Haven't you? Huh? The Amadeus Maho. Last time was before we went to Japan, wasn't it? Oh, about that. Hold on, I need to do something. Sorry if you heard a little something there. Didn't mean to. Getting a little stuck in here, so I had to open the windows. That's all. I didn't know what to say. It was right. Well, I had a lot of scary experiences in Japan. I was thinking that maybe we shouldn't give Amadeus bad memories. I understand how you feel, but I can't do a comparison trial like this. The comparison trial will involve loading memories from both before and after a given experience into Amadeus, seeing how it changed. These trials allowed them to see what effects experience and knowledge have on the brain. After Kasu's passing, they became solely Maho's responsibility. Right now, the real you and the Amadeus you have such different memories that you almost are different people.
はい、
Yeah,
そうですね。
that's true.
このままだと
At this
君は
rate,
このプロジェクト
going
から
to
外
have
し
to
て
take you
他
off
の
the
誰かに
project
頼まなくて
and
はなら
ask
ないか
someone
もし
else
れな
to
い
do
よ。
it.
それは
That's... Her expression darkens.
クレスばかり相
Stop
手にしてい
talking
ない。
faster
た
all
ま
the
には
time.
自分も
And give
構ってあ
yourself
げなさい。
some attention.
きっと寂し
I'm
がっ
sure
てい
she's
る。
lonely.
明日必ず記憶の更新を
Make sure to update your memories tomorrow.
いいね。
Understood?
わかりました。
Understood. Maho nodded her head and left the room. The reason she given in to Dr. Liskin for not updating Maho's memories was a real concern, but also another one. Mentoro's words.
なあ、
Hey,
アマデウスの
U.S.
研究には
military aren't
米軍が関
involved
与
in
していたりは
researching Amadeus,
しないよな。
are they? She had no proof, but she couldn't get his words out of her mind. Was some great power involved in the Amadeus research? Something so powerful it was even outside of Dr. Liskin's control? If she updated her data memory, Maho would learn about Kasu's laptop and hard drive. She trusted Amadeus, but that would mean whoever was secretly trying to use the project for their own ends would find out. It seemed silly, almost delusional, to be worried about something like that, but she couldn't get it out. She couldn't get it out of her mind ever since she came back to America.
でもやっぱり考えすぎよね。
I really am overthinking it, though. She whispered to herself.
誰
Who's
か
there?
ここにいるの
Is someone there? She heard a woman's voice from down the dark hallway. Maho stopped dead in her tracks. The hallway's lights flipped on, and she saw a group of men and women coming down the corridors that connected her building to the next one. The next building over was the psychological lab. Maho's brain science lab mostly investigated the workings of the brain itself. The psychological lab, on the other hand, was more of a medical department. They looked at how the workings of the brain affected mental states and mental illnesses.
すみません。
Excuse me, I'm Maho Harajo from Dr. Liskin's lab. The woman at the head of the group was someone she knew. Dr. Reese, a science at the psychological lab.
あら、魔法
Oh, it's you, Maho.
レイエス教授、
Professor Reese.
こんな時間にお仕事ですか？
Are you up working this late?
あなたも
You too?
ええ。
Yeah, I suppose.
お互いに仕
We're
事
both
しなきゃ
addicted
だ
to our work, aren't we? Judy Rice' eyes narrowed between her glasses as she laughed.
アレクシスは
Where's
まだ
Alexis?
自分のオフィスよね
Is he still in his office?
はい。
Yes,
アマデウスの
he's
研
working
究
on
を
Amadeus.
ほんとご愁
He
傷
really is dedicated.
自
Sometimes
分
I
の
wonder
娘
if
と
he
勘
doesn't
違い
think
してる
it's
んじゃない
his
か
own
しら
daughter.
こんな時間にレス
Are
キ
you
ネン
gonna
教
see
授に
Dr.
お会いになるんですか？
at this hour?
もし緊急で
It's
の
an
ミーティングなら
emergency meeting.
私も
I'll go too.
その必要は
No
ないわ
need for that.
私の研究に少
I'm
し
having
問
some
題があ
trouble
って
with
ね
my research,
至急彼の知恵
I
を
want his
借りたいのよ
and I want it now.
あなたがいても特に
There
頼め
wouldn't
るこ
be
とはない
anything
で
you
しょう
could
し
do, really.
気を悪くしないでね
Don't take that
Then-
the wrong way.
Arigato.
But thanks. Dr. Rez kept smiling as she walked past Maher towards the lab. The other scientists followed her. I don't trust her either. They're in cahoots. She's in cahoots with Dr. Litskin.
研究に問題って
Problem with her research?
一体なんだろう？
What could it be? She took a closer look and saw that she didn't recognize one of the people in the group. It was hard to say why exactly she noticed him. He just didn't look like a scientist. When you spend enough time doing research, you start to get the feel for people who are in the same line of work. But he had a totally different air about him. What was worse, he was behaving extremely rudely towards Dr. Reyes. If he was one of her staff, he wouldn't act while everyone else was wearing white lab coats, he was wearing a freshly pressed suit. It just didn't feel right. She was about to head back to her room when it bothered her enough that she turned right back around and silently crept back into Dr. Lipkin's lab. The door was slightly ajar. She could hear voices inside. She knew it was wrong, but she decided to push her face up against the door and listen.
いつまで泳が
How
せ
long
て
are
い
you
くつ
going
もり
to let him hang on to it?
貴重な情報源
It's a
だ。
valuable source of
下手に
information.
動いて破棄でもされたらもったいないだろ
I'd hate to tip him off, and have him destroy it.
う。いずれにせよ、
Either
今
way,
月中に日
we're
本に
leaving for
立つ。
Japan in this
そ
month.
こで
I
回収
plan
す
on
るつ
getting
もり
it
さ。
back then.
なぜ半年近く
Can
も
you
様子を見
explain
たの
why
か
you dragged
納
your
得のいく
feet
説
for
明がで
6
きるのか
months
しら
over this?
彼らは我々が
I have
知
a
っているこ
feeling
と
that
以
they're
上の
still
何
hiding
かを隠して
something
いる
we
ような
don't
気が
know
してね。
about yet. We don't know about yet.
そこでアマデウ
I
スを
try
使
to
って
use
聞き出そう
Amadeus
と
to
した
get
んだ
out
が
of him, but
かなり警戒心が強い
he's a very cautious
慎重な
boy,
青年だよ
our
レンターロ
Lintoro
岡部は。
Okabe. Do you not know what has happened to it? And plus, I told you, this man is evil!
真帆に
Why not
お
use
得意
your
の施術でも
special
してあげた
treatment
ら
on Maho?
彼女は何も
I
知ら
don't
な
think
いと
she
思う
knows
ね。
anything. Maho started to panic when she heard her name. And then she realized she made a big mistake. She was so focused on listening to the conversation that she pressed her shoulder into the door. The door in the lab wasn't very well built. There's a loud creak and everyone in the lab turned around.
誰
Who's there? She knew she was about to probably run, but her body refused to move. She couldn't understand what she was hearing, even if they found her. She still couldn't move. She couldn't believe it. She didn't want to believe it. This was worse than it being in a thriller, she thought. The other scientists who were Dr. Liskin grabbed her arms tightly and dragged her into the room.
教授
Professor,
今の話は
what were you just talking
一
about?
体
Dr. Liskin looked a little sad as he walked over to her. His huge body leaned forward and peered into her face.
やれやれ
Oh dear.
聞いてしまったんだ
You
ね。
hear it, did you?
ま
Well,
あちょうどいい。
good timing.
魔法
Maho.
さっきの
Remember that
日
Japan
本
trip
行き
we
の
were
話だけ
just
どね。
talking about?
やはり
You're
君
going
に
to
も
come with me
一
after
緒
all.
に来てもらおう。
She didn't know what he meant. Were the directors opposed to it? Was something Dr. Liskin could decide on his own? What was good timing? Confused, she glanced over the computer screen. The pastor was no longer there. The one thing she knew was Okabe's words weren't a rambling of a computer series after all. Anyways, with Okarin. It was almost July. Oh my gosh, time skip, man. The rainy season hadn't been bad this year, but what little remained has already disappeared. Temperature-wise, summer had come a long time ago.
夏か
Summer. In other words, it's been almost a year since it happened. And then one Saturday afternoon, if I stayed home, not only would it be hot, but Dad would be on my case about helping with the family business. To get away, I'd come to the area around Ikebaro Station. A year ago, I could have gone to the lab, but with Shishua living there now, I mostly stopped going. But that meant it was hard to find a place to study on my days off. It was too much trouble to get into university, and the classroom probably weren't open on weekends anyways. After a lot of research, I settled spending my free days visiting this cafe near my parents' house and spending a few hours there. In fact, a lot of the other patrons did the same as I did, buying a single cup of coffee and sitting there for hours on end. Some brought books, some brought computers. I chuckled to myself as I realized that I joined the ranks of the other normies. Where are you now? Oh, the usual cafe, right? I just went to your place and you weren't home. You did? Did my dad make a nuisance of himself again? It's okay. He gave me some barley tea. I have to go shopping. Will you come with me? Okay. Thank you! Okay, I'm leaving now. Wait for me. So they went to my house. My family's business is called Okabe Green Grocers. It was a beat-up old store located in a rundown shopping street. The place is almost 40 years old. I really wanted them to rebuild it. My mind has wandered. Mario was going to be here in less than 15 minutes, so maybe it was time to call it a day. I worked pretty hard during the morning, so it wasn't too bad. I was a little surprised at how hard I've been working lately. I could feel having a goal. It gave me energy. I needed to get to Victor Cornell University as soon as I could. Victor University. Since I was still testing Amadeus, I kept in touch with Maho via email and online chat. She must have been working hard because she was always sleepy. Sorry, just gotta... And then my phone started to vibrate. It was from Amadeus Costerer. Lately, she's been contacting me all the time. I vaguely remembered that at first she promised not to talk to me unless if I contacted her first. But we talked almost every day over the course of the last 6 months. And as time passed, I almost totally forgotten about that. I reached down to answer.
Hi.
Hello?
何よ
What?
どうして声を
Why is your voice so low? Shh. I'm in a cafe right now. Hi, hello, good. I'm just very relieved that I'm probably right that Dr. Linskin is evil. And also, I'm very annoyed that I can hear myself when I get too loud. I don't know what's causing it, is the problem. Please, don't call me when I'm busy with studies.
あんたがどこで
I
何し
have
て
no way to know where you are or what you're doing.
それとも
Or do you want me to be watching you 24 hours a day?
あんたが寝てる姿
Are you saying you want me to observe you while you're asleep? Or while you're taking a bath? You're quite the pervert, aren't you? Ah, there's the costume we know and love. I'm sorry. There it is. If you don't want to talk to me when I call you, just don't pick up. I won't get mad about something like that. That's true. Oh yeah, she would definitely get mad. Well, it looks like you're busy now, so I'll do what you want me to do and hang up. You're right. It's probably pretty weird for the rest of the cafe to see you talking to a 3D model of a girl on your phone. No, not at all! Wait, hold on. Shit, I'm only 2D. Oh fuck, I don't have it V-Face installed on my computer anymore, so I can't switch to my V-Boy model, which is my 3D model. Well, someone can go to a cafe and see and be like, hey, hey, look, you're watching some 2D anime girl on your screen! Come on. Not that weird, right? I'm kidding. You always take time to talk to me. And well, I'm grateful.
いう話はいいから、とにかく切るぞ。
Not weird at all! Nope! We can talk about that some other time. I'm hanging up. Hey, wait! Pastor who always talked to me so much. The real one used to talk a lot too. Talking to her in a place like this always drew a lot of attention. It made me feel awkward. Looking at the scene and talking was... Looking at a screen and talking was embarrassing. It was all. So once I proposed that I talked to her like I was on a normal phone. And this is what she said. Why do I have to stare at the close-up side of your head? Hey! To be fair, it is 2011 in this game franchise. Smartphones were not really big around and everything. She was a really selfish little program. Maru and I met up and headed toward Tokyo's hands. When I stepped inside the air-conditioned store, I felt refreshed. Oh man, I feel like that every time I get into air conditioning. If it was this hot in June, I shudder to think about what it was going to be like in July or August.
それで一体何を買うつもりなんだ?
So what are you going to buy?
ね
We're going to make some signs for an advertising.
だから
So I need poster board and highlighters and stuff.
今年は込みま
Are
で
you
同
going
人
to
誌
put
なん
a
ですか?
Are you going to put out a book of this year's coming out?
違うよ
Nope.
岡部
It's just for Okabe's dreams brochure.
なんだって?
What did you say? My family business.
今日オカリンの家
When I
に
went
行った
to
時
your
ね
house today,
おじさんと
I talked to
そん
your
な
dad
話になって
about it.
じゃあマ
And I said that Masu would make them for him.
おい
Wait.
おい
Seriously? My dad could be such a jerk.
お前がそんなことする
There's
必要
really no reason you have to do that.
でも
But
マヨシーが
Masu
やり
wants
たい
to
からやって
do
いる
it.
本当にいいのか?
You're sure?
オカリンやおじさんおば
Your
さん
mom and dad are always so nice to mommy. Okay. I'll get you something as a thank you present then.
本当
Really? That makes me so happy! I took a quick look around and saw that they were selling a lot of things that you could use for advertising. I decided that mostly leave the purchasing decisions up to Maru. She spent quite a while deciding what to buy. But well, maybe because all the time she spent at May Queen Disney Square, her taste ran in the direction of cute and anime. Part of me thought it was dangerous to leave it up to her, but still, they asked her, not me. It wasn't any of my business. I should just leave it to her. And so I decided to wander around the store while Maru finished up her shopping. But Amadeus is calling once again. Katsuro!
どうかしたか?
What's up?
もしかして買い物中
Are you out shopping?
ああ
Yeah,
マユリとな
with Maru.
へえ
Oh, a date? Hey, Katsuru, I thought you're trying to get him together with Maho.
スイーツかっこ笑い
Mainstream woman.
その呼び方は
I
やめろ
told
と
you
言
to
っとる
stop
わ
calling me that. Would you want me to go back to calling you Christina? Oh, wait, sorry, we've grown past that.
だったらお前も
Then stop
恋愛の
assuming
癖を
everything
直
is
すんだ
about romance.
はいはい
Right,
わかった
right,
わよ
fine.
でもまゆりさんって可愛いわよね
Isn't that Mario cute? I'll play it for you. It's called Reunion. It's one of my favorites, and I did the main game theme ringtone to get a Steiner in the original game. So I was just like, I feel like I had to do something different this time.
あんな
you'd like to have such a cutie as your childhood friend.
そうだな。
You're right.
これじゃ真帆
Oh,
さんの
doesn't
の
stand a chance that this rates. Ah, there it is.
可愛くもないし
She's
年
not
齢
as
も勝てないし
She's not as young. She's shorter, and her boobs are just hopeless.
かわい
I
そう
feel
な
so
先
bad
輩
for her.
それをヒヤジョーさんの
If you
前
say
で言っ
that
た
in
ら
front of Haijo, she'll delete your program.
というか
You know,
私
you actually
未だ
haven't
にまゆりさんを紹介
introduced
して
me
もらって
to
ない
Mamoru.
あんた友達は
I've
結
had
構
quite
い
a
るの
few
に
friends,
私の
but
ことは
you've
誰
never
にも教
told
え
any
よう
of
とし
them
ないん
about
だ
me. I wasn't supposed to talk about you.
守秘義務的なものがある
It's
ん
a
だ。
secrecy thing.
あ
I'm
ま
not
り人に
supposed
教え
to
ない
tell
ように
people
言われ
about
て
you.
る。
本当にそれだ
Is
け
it really all that is?
実は
You
私と
actually don't
話
want
してるの
people
を人に
seeing
見られ
you
たく
talk
ないんじゃない
to you.
そんなことはないさ。
Not true.
どうしても紹介してほ
You
しい。
really want me to introduce you?
Yeah, just
I'll get
look
I'll get permission. I'll get permission from Hajo.
手始めに、
I'll
俺が
start
一
by
番頼りに
introducing
している
you
男
to
である。
Daru,
誰
the
を
man
紹
I
介しよう
trust the most.
あいつなら、
He
お前は
just
相当食い
he
つく。
just loves talk. He would just love to talk to you.
24時間延
He'll
々と
stare at
エ
me
ヴァ
with
ン
his
ゲリオンに
filthy
詰められ
eyes,
てハーハーされ
constantly
続けるんですねわかります
hinting after me 24 hours a day, right? Well, here's the thing: you're female, you're 3D, you're in a computer. Maybe we shouldn't trust you with Daru. I feel like maybe the best option of who to show Katsuru to first would actually be Lucaro. Not gonna lie. Like, Ferris would get all weird about it and be like, "Oh my gosh, so cute!" And like, you know, weird her with the cat girl stuff. And I actually don't think Katsuru in the original game. I don't think Katsuru actually ever like spoken much to Ferris. Like, I think she did a little bit, but not too much. Because Ferris was like hardly ever at the lab. And then obviously showing Maru, Maru would just be confused, and then she would go tell the rest of the cosplay group. And definitely not showing it to Shishiwa. Yep.
変態が怖い
That scare me. Coster went pale and started to shake. I told Coster all kind of things about what kind of person Daru was. She could easily imagine what would happen if she ever fell into his clutches. Never
やっぱ
mind.
り紹
You don't
介
have
は
to
してくれなく
introduce
ていい
me
わ
to anyone.
あんたが相手をしてくれる
Just
だけ
keep
で
telling myself that I'm lucky to
十分だと思わなくちゃ
have you to talk to.
おかえり
Okay! Alright, anyways.
あれ
Huh?
今誰と話してたの
Huh? Who are you talking to?
ああ、
Oh. Oh, thank you. I love them. I love how they turned out. They were made by the lovely LK the Fox. And I'm absolutely in love with them. Well, the Thinking one was made by Resni. But all the other ones have been made by LK the Fox. So, I am glad to know that I have seen cool art, and I have been able to commission some cool emotes from cool people. I think maybe that was the point. I don't know. At the end of the day, who really knows? I looked down at my phone. Coster had disappeared, and my smartphone was back to its home screen. Evidently, Coster has hung up.
大学の先輩からだった。
Another student from school.
そっか
I see. I knew I didn't have to hide. I knew I didn't have to hide Katsuru, but at the same time, Maru was the only person I didn't want finding out. I beg to differ. I think you don't want Shushua to know either. I don't think Shushua knowing about Amadeus Katsuru would be a good idea right now. She knew that I failed to save Maxi Katsuru last summer.
それで
So did you decide what you're going to buy? Oh, yeah!
こんな
What do you think
どうか
about this? A basket was filled with heart and star-shaped star stock. This didn't really go with our store's look. But I decided when I started, I was going to let Maru make the decision, because I don't know what else to do. Dad might complain later, but I didn't care. He was the one who asked Maru for help, not me. So I went over to the register. Since it was a Saturday, the checkout area was overflowing with shopping carts. Since it was going to take a while, I sent Maru to browse the toys on another floor. I knew they had some stuff from one of her favorite shows, Rain Karu. Ooh! Fictional. A very popular manga about the internet that appears in the Vertical comics. It also has an anime presently in its third season that runs every Sunday at 9 a.m. On Eastern TV stations. While the general atmosphere and the characters design of the shows may make it look like it's for children, its unusual, realistic scenes make it a show that adults can enjoy as well. Yeah. Always expect the unexpected. That's why I love Steingate. Because one minute you could be chilling at some Christmas party, and the next year at the war is the Soviet Union. Maru looked apologetic, but did what I told her to. In the end, I waited a whole 15 minutes at the register. As an apology, I decided to get the present I promised her. She seemed really happy as she stared at the keychain. Of course, she went with an Upa. It was Upa, the mascot character from the Reina the Katsuru, the series. I told her when she went over to the toy section she could pick out anything she wanted, and this is what she chose. You seem pretty happy about that, given how many Upas you already have. And that's a regular green Upa, right? Not the rare one. The rare one. Do you mean the metal Upa? The most popular and rarest of the Upas is the shiny silver metal Upa. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that one. Yep. For example, whenever there was a lottery for a very net kerosene stuff at a convenience store, the top prize was always a metal Upa. Maru told me once that they sold tens of thousands of yens at auction. For some reason, Maru was wagging her finger at me. Nope. This is a green Upa, but it's not a regular one. This is a green fairy Upa that was in the movie that they just released. To be fair, I would love an Upa. Just like a little Upa I could set on my desk. It would be great. Or a little Upa that I could put on my weeb shelf. That's right, I have a weeb shelf. I think an Upa would count as weeb because it's a fiction. It's a fictional anime and a fictional game that also happens to be an anime. So I think an Upa would fit on weeb shelf. Just a little bit. I heard my ringtone go off and I'm just like, wait, we're getting call a game? And I was like, oh, no. That's not, you don't use the same ones in game. Come and think of it, there's Yeah. My weed shelf has some, like, One Piece. It has some One Piece figurines on it. A couple stuff from Spy Family. Got a little bit of Pokemon on it. I got some stuff from other animes too. I used to have some ducks on there, but then I moved the ducks to my desk because I was like, they don't fit on the weeb shelf. They're not. I don't have any reason to have ducks on weeb shelf. Actually, no. To be fair, they went off because, like I said, ducks. I don't really know a reason for rubber ducks to be on. I am too. And Mara said no to the theater full of little kids to watch it. The Green Fairy. It's okay if I spoil the movie. Go ahead. I'm not going to see it. So this movie, it's about a fight with an evil super hacker in the virtual world. So my phone went off again. It freaked me out. I'm just like, why do I hear it all the time? I was like, oh, right. That's what I made my... I'm such a stupid idiot for, like, what should I was like, I should change my notification sound. I was like, oh! I was like, you know, my ringtone is currently level of guilty from Apollo's Justice. I was just like, maybe I should go with one of my other favorite franchises for my favorite franchises for notifications. And I'm like, yeah. Oh, that is so cool! The virtual world is a forest for fairies. Mr. Super Hacker is really strong. And Kakeru and Oppa are in a big trouble, but just when they are about to lose, the fairies come in to save them! And it turns out that the fairies are actually the powers in the school garden that he always taken care of. They came all the way to the virtual world to save Kakeru, and then there was this big shiny light, and then they combined with Upa. And that green fairy Upa. He's really huge and really strong. Masu Satsu was so great. I love stories like that. The director is a genius. Right. Yes, we're getting lore of the Green Fairy Upa. I see. It was rare for Mars to get this excited about something. I took a closer look and saw that the design was a little different from the standard Upa. I didn't know a lot about Upa, so I couldn't exactly say what was different. I've actually been spending a lot of time with this teaching. It's really popular, so it's sold out everywhere. I never would have thought fans would have one. You were pretty lucky, huh? Yep. And it was the last one. I'm glad I came today. I need to thank you and your dad. I took the tag off the keychain and got the pass keys out of her bag and carefully attached it. Hey, Okari! Masu! We'll treasure this forever. And ever. And ever. Yeah, please do. Make sure you don't lose it 5 minutes after you get it. I just put it on Huskies. Happened before, after all. Like the metal Upa I won for at the radio building. I lost it within no more than 5 minutes after I gave it to her. But luckily, Cosser found. Well, maybe not unluckily, Cosser found it. I wonder if she ever found it. Nope! Because it's in Russia! I didn't really want to remember that time in my life. The memories of what happened to the Melupo was big. Well, yeah, like I said, I know exactly what happened to it. Koster found it, and Dr. Nakabachi took it to Russia with him. Yep. I'm never gonna lose it again. The two of us head back. I'm gonna work hard and make you the ads for your shop, okay? Oh yeah. Still got to do that. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, don't worry if he has to head out and stuff. I just appreciate people being here. I've been thinking the job was done once we got the materials. The real work actually began now. Should I help too? Nope. I'm fine. Leave him alone.
ハートマークのポップを買おうとしてた時点でセンスを疑うぞ。
I'm a little worried after you tried to buy heart-shaped yard stock. It's fine! Well, it's nice of you to make them at all, so I won't complain. Oh, I need to call Mom. I'll tell her that I'll be home for dinner. Why not eat at my place? I'm sure either Mom or Dad will try to get you to stay anyways. I don't know. Are you going to stay at home the rest of it today? You won't go to any single parties? I haven't been to any lately. Last fall, when I was trying to become a normal college kid, I forced myself to go to as many as possible. But lately, I've been so busy with my studies that I hadn't had the chance. I see. Then maybe I will. Mara took out her phone and started to type something when her expression suddenly darkened. She stopped moving. What's wrong? I just got a message from Kitty. I didn't notice it. There's no way my phone just went off with that. Ah, fuck, wrong button. Mara seems like she was on the verge of tears. Did something happen? Hey, Okarin. You told me before that Fubuki's not sick, right? Fubuki? You mean Nakase? And not Kushimara yet? Yeah. That's true. Is she really not sick? Yeah. I don't think so. But Mara showed me her phone. Fubuki's back in the hospital. She's back in the hospital? I couldn't believe what I was seeing on the screen. Fubuki was at a different location than before. This time at the the AH Tokyo General Hospital high-tech medical gear center in Yagagoi. It was supposedly one of Japan's most advanced hospitals. According to what I read on the internet, patients with the new episodics that everyone was talking about were being gathered here for special treatments. But I also read lots of really bad urban legends about the place, and I was a bit worried that some kind of horror show would find here. But of course, when we arrived, there was nothing like that. It was just very clean and decorated like a luxury hotel. Rumors that were source is unknown and unclear, usually dating from the 20th century or later. They can be divided into ghost stories, occult stories, and folklore, but lately the boundaries between these three categories became vague. Urban legends range from short, silly stories to terrifying and nightmarish, and all of them are told as if it really happened. Examples of urban legends include the Japanese story of Hakuwaka-san, the story of the Shadow People, or the story of the Men in Black. Mashu! Okay!
こっちです。
This way. Kirei and Yuki waved to us as we entered the lobby. Yuki got a message from Kirei as well and has evidently come right over.
ふぶきちゃんは
Where's Fubuki?
大丈夫だよ。
She's fine. Yuki gave Maru a soft hug and smile. Kirei bowed her head apologetically.
驚かせてごめん
I
ね。
scare you.
私 ふぶきちゃんのお母さんの話だと、日本とアメリカの政府がお
Fubuki's
金
mom
を
says
出
that
し
the
て
Japanese and American
新
governments are
しい治療
paying
の
for
プ
a
ロジェ
new
クトを
treatment
始めるみたいなんで
project.
す。この病院と
Doing
アメリ
to
カ
be
の
certain
専門
is
病院
centered
や
around this
研
lab
究所が
and
中
it's a
心にな
dedicated
って
hospital in
やるんだ
America,
そうですよ。
supposedly.
そうなのか。
I see. I wasn't sure how I felt about that. If I was right about what this disease really was, it's hard to imagine a bigger waste of money.
お願いします。
Please give all the patients private rooms and try to keep the rooms as far apart from one another as possible to ensure the patients don't come into contact.
しかしね、そんな都合
But
よ
aren't
く
there
了承
that
は得
many
ていません
open
から
rooms?
それでもやってく
You
れない
need
と
to
ダ
do
メ
it
です。
anyways.
患
That
者同士
patients,
が会
if
話を
patients
する
talk to
こ
each
とで
other,
夢の
they'll
情
start
報
to
を
share
共
their
有してしまう
dreams,
でしょう。
right?
いや、それは
Sure.
そうですが
That's true. But
脳というのはね、
one
他人が
person
見た
hears
夢の
about
ように、それ
someone
に
else's
共感を
dreams,
覚えてしまうと、あた
their
かも
brain
自分が
can
見た
trick
夢
them
のように
into
錯覚してしまう。
thinking that they
そう
had
いう可
that
能性
dream
だって
as
あ
well.
るのです。
Across the law, I saw an old Japanese doctor in a white coat and a big man in a suit who's frantically trying to talk to him.
あ、
Oh! I've seen that man in the suit before. Actually, it was the man I knew well.
教授
Professor?
レスキ
Professor
ネン教授
Lickskin? I hurried over.
レスキネン教授
Dr. Lickskin,
俺です。
it's
岡部です。
me, Okabe. He must have been wearing his translator because he was communicating with the old doctor in Japanese. Dr. Lickskin's face quickly broke into a smile when he saw me. Oh, Litoro! His voice was so loud that everyone in the lobby, doctors, nurse, staffs, even patients, turned back and looked at me. But Dr. Liskin didn't seem to notice them as he ran over. He was like a giant American football player racing for a touchdown. Ah! Wait, Professor! Stop! Stop! My cries went unheard as Dr. Liskin tackled me and pulled me out. Man's definitely evil. But man can put up a great act. Then he switched from football player to pro wrestler and swung me up and down. I felt like I was a little child. There was nothing I could do to resist him as he flung me around. A moment later, he noticed the cold stares of the people around us and finally released me. Oh my, I'm sorry. I was just so surprised I got a little too excited. Right. Dr. Luxkin bowed to the people around him in
レ
apology.
スキネン先生、
Dr.
この
Luxkin,
青年とは
who
ど
is
うい
this
ったお
the
知り
young
合い
man
かな？
that Dr. Professor Luxkin has been talking to was staring at me suspiciously. I'm Toro. Oh, I'm, well, I wasn't sure how actually to tell him. I wasn't like he was the real my professor.
見たところまだ
He
学
seems
生
to
の
be
よう
a
だが、
student.
どこ
Which
の
school
大
are
学
you
か
with?
教授と同じ
You're studying
脳科学
brain
専
science,
攻だ
like
と
the
すると
professor.
いえ、俺
No,
は
I'm.
彼は9月
He'll
か
be
ら
a
ビクトル
student
コンド
at
リ
the
ー大
Victor
学の
Cornera
学生
this
ですよ。
September.
いずれ
I'm
私
planning
の研究室
having
に
him
来てもらうつもり
come
でい
to
ま
my
す。
lab.
え
Huh?
おほう
I
ビ
see.
クトル
Your
コロンビア
Cornell
大学
University.
か
Eh?
これは驚い
That's
た
a surprise. I looked over at Dr. Langston questioningly. He just gave me a mysterious smile. This guy. He really was such a kid.
日本
Who
に
is evil?
学生なんてめったにいない
It's very rare for a Japanese student to be able to go there. I'm impressed.
どうも
Thanks! I said the doctor laughed. I said loud enough for the professor Langston to hear me.
今の
So,
人は
who is that guy?
この病院の
The director of this hospital.
院長
The director?
そんな偉い人相手
You
に
just told a lie to somebody that important?
おや
Oh,
私は嘘を
did I lie?
確かに9月から我が校の学生とはいたが
Wasn't lying?
今年の9月からとは
I said you'd be a student starting in September, but I didn't mean this September.
それとも
Oh,
何かい
or what? You think you don't have what it takes to make it to my school in the end. That's a little unfortunate, but he was really like a little kid. Completely shameless. But still, it was hard to hate him.
でも
Oh, you're gonna hate him, I bet. I'm
まさ
surprised
か
though.
教授が
I
ま
had
だ
no
日
idea
本に来て
you
い
were
る
in Japan. It's been 5 months since I've seen him off at Natara.
魔法も一緒
Mara
に
was
来て
here
るよ
too.
そうなんですか
Really?
一言も教えてもらっ
She
て
didn't
ま
say
せ
a
んが
word about it. I talked to her often via email and video chat, mostly about Amadeus testing, but she hadn't said a word about coming to Japan. I didn't hear anything about it from Costa either.
またあの若
We're
き
back
の
in
武
the
装の
same
パ
office
キスタン
at Iwako City.
クリス
Come
タ
by
ル
anytime you'd
いつ
like
でも遊びに来
and
る
bring
よ
Costa.
泥棒に入られる
I
か
told
ら
them to find us
別
a
の場所にして
different
くれ
place
と
after we got
訴えた
robbed
んだよ
last
ね
time, but Skin looked up toward the ceiling and shrugged. It did feel like that place had security issues.
ウィンタールはどこか具合でも悪いのかい治療でここに
Are you not feeling well, Lintaro? Did you come here for treatment?
あいえ
Oh.
違います
No,
入
I'm
院
here
して
to
る友
visit a
人の
friend.
見舞いで
ああそう
Oh,
か
I see.
それはよか
That's good.
いや
Well,
その友人に
it's
とっ
not
て
good
はよく
for
ないか
your friend.
申し訳な
I'm
い
sorry.
あいえ
Oh, no.
それで教授こ
So,
そ
what are you
日
doing
本の
at
病院
Japan,
で何を
Japanese hospital? Dr. Luskin brought his face close to mine and whispered so that the people around us couldn't hear him.
君も知っているだろう
You heard
例
about
の
the new
新型脳
hepatitis
炎の
cases,
件だよ
right?
アメリカ政府の依頼で精
The
神
American
生
government
理
asked
学
us
研
for
究
our
所が
physio-
治療法を
psychological lab
研
to
究
look
してい
into
た
it.
んだが手詰まりらしくて
A
ね
roadblock.
私も調査に
The
加わる
university
よう
ordered me
大学
to
から
help
命
with
じられたと
the
いうわけ
investigation.
さ
そうなんで
I
すか
see. So
Miss
you're helping
Ken
with
told you
the
about
new
Shingata
episodic cases. Now, there was a word I didn't expect to hear. I explained that my friend was here because they thought she might have the disease.
もしかしてその
Is
友
your
人
friend
という
named
のは中瀬
Captain
克美
Nazi, perhaps?
あ
Yeah.
あ
You met her at the Christmas party,
Christmas party
didn't you?
うんうん
That's right.
実は
My
私が
interest
新
in
型
this
脳
new
に興味を持ったの
disease started with
あの彼が
that
きっ
party,
かけでね
you see.
君と克美が揃って倒
You
れ
and
ただ
Katsumi
ろ
collapsed, right? You've started, actually. In my case, I've been sent to that other world line.
克美に
I
は
met up with
何日か
her
前に
again
再会したんだ
several
けど
days
ね
ago.
私に
She
も
demanded to know why she was,
Nandoka
being sent back to the
どうして
hospital when
ま
she
た
was
入
just
院
fine.
そうでしたか
I see.
もう少し協力
Would
的
you
に
tell
なって
her
くれ
it
る
would
と嬉
make
しいと
me happy
ウィン
if
ターロ
she
ーから
was
も
a
伝
bit
えてお
more
いてくれないか
cooperative?
い
ああ
Huh?
実際のところ
I'm actually
Katsumi だけでなく
feeling really
全
bad
ての
for
患者
both
に
her and
申し訳ない
all
と
the
いう
other
気持ちはあるんだ
No, you
我
don't,
々も
bitch.
日本の医師
We
団
and
も
the Japanese
研
team
究を
are
進め
doing
てはいるん
what
だ
we
けど
can,
ね
but
どうにも
just don't
消せない検査
understand
結果
the
ばかりで
results
困
we're
り果て
getting.
ているのさ
Dr. Luskin usually chipper expression darkened. The man was such a ball of volatility that I hadn't noticed until then. But when when his smile disappeared, I could see the wrinkles that had formed on his face from exhaustion. He must have been working hard, like he said.
正直
To be honest,
最初はどの医師
none
も
of the doc
こ
none
れ
of the
ほど
doctors
不
thought
可
we'd
解
have
な
this
病
much
気だと
trouble
は思っていなか
explaining
ったら
it
しい
to
ん
all
だ
the
けどね
at the start.
どうしたんだ
What's wrong,
太郎
Zoro?
あ
Oh,
そ
well,
の
何か気になることで
is
も
something wrong?
いえ
No,
俺は医学生じゃないので
I'm not a medical
Somebody
student,
said-
so this is all outside my expertise. I was just about to tell him about my reading Steiner, but in the end, I couldn't. If my uninformed opinion was wrong, it could cost the episode patients their lives. I couldn't just tell him when I didn't have any proof. And then his face drew closer to mine again.
ところで
By
そ
the
の
way,
克美が
Katsumi
なか
was
なか
saying
興味
something
深いことを
very
言っていたんだよ
うん
自分たち
She
は
said that
病気じゃない
something about not
別の
being
世
sick,
界の出来事を
about how she wasn't
夢で見る
actually
能力が
another
た
world
と
world
か
in
な
her
とか
dreams. I told her not to say anything about it. Could she not help it? This was bad. It might start to doubt her sanity. Well,
中瀬さんは
Natsuki's got a very
とても
vivid
想像
imagination.
力がたくましいというか
Maybe.
SF
She
とか
loves
アニメとか
sci-fi and
大
anime.
好きで他の平行世界を
She
感知
probably
できる
just said
力
she
なん
had
て
the powers to experience
趣味の
parallel
影響
worlds
で口
because
に
she
しただ
saw
け
it
じゃない
on
かと
some
思い
show
ます
or somewhere. A parallel world, another world that exists not parallel to our own in another time and space. It has the same dimensions as our own worlds, and sometimes the people and objects within it are exactly the same as our own.
実は俺もそういうことを言っていた時
I
期があ
remember
るん
that
で
I
すよ
used to say stuff like that. I tried my best to come up with excuses, but Dr. Lixkin still seemed concerned.
だけどね
But still,
私も
I was
治
really
療プロジェ
surprised
ク
when I
トに
started
参加して
participating in
驚
the
いたんだ
treatment
が
project.
確かにこの病の特徴として
One of the
多く
strange
の患
things
者が
about this illness is
夢
that
を共有す
many
る
patients
不可思議な現
share
象
the
が
same
起こっているん
dream.
だ集団幻覚に近いのかとも思って
Similar to
今調
a
べ
mass
ているんだけど
hallucination.
ねでもなんだろう
What do
こ
you
んな
think?
ことは初
I've
め
never
てで
seen
ね
this before.
脳科学
From a
的
brain
には
science
今のと
perspective,
ころ
I just don't
解
have
が
an
導
answer
けな
right
い
now. I don't have an answer myself yet.
正直
To be
非
honest,
科学的という言
unscientific
葉が
is the
一
word
番
that
しっくりくるくらい
seems
だ
to
よ
be best fit,
それこ
like
そ
parallel worlds
平行世
or
界
memories of a
前
past
世の
life.
記憶とかね
そうですか
See,
君も勝美から
Help
いろいろと話を聞
you
い
talk
て
to
くれると助かる
Katsuki
よ
too.
医者に言えな
There
い
are
こ
some
とでも
things that you can't say to a
Eugene
doctor,
na
but that you can
hanase
tell your friends.
はい
Sure,
一応
I'll ask
心
her,
がけておきます
I guess.
さて
So
ピー
Lintaro,
ターそれはそれ
that
として
aside, I have a
確認
question
だ
for you. Dr. Liskin was looking over my shoulder.
クリスマスパーティーの時にも
I got a
感じ
sense
た
of
んだ
this
けれ
at
ど
the Christmas party.
君のガールフレンドたちは
Your
キュ
girlfriends
ートな
really
お
are
嬢さんば
cute,
かりだ
aren't
ね
they? And not my girlfriends, they're just friends who are girls.
え
I turned around and saw Marukade and Yuki all stood up from the sofa and were looking at me. When they saw Dr. Liskin was looking at them, they waved.
やはり
So,
お腹に
Are any of those girls involved with you right now?
あゆり
Yuki, Dene, Maru,
それとも
Luka, or
勝美
maybe
様なのかな
Katsun? Excuse me, Dr. Liskin, Luka is a guy. And I think it's established that Okurin is not gay. Okay? But it's okay to be gay. Okay? Anybody watching this, just because some video game character is not gay, does not mean it's not okay to be gay. It is definitely okay to be gay. We welcome the gays here. In fact, I'm all about the gay shit. Always. Always here and forever for the gay shit.
No.
What? His words were so surprising I couldn't think of anything to say. Maru would often call this middle-aged man a mischievous boy. That's exactly what the look he had on his face.
いや
No,
別に
I won't
俺に
force
聞か
you
せて
to
くれと
tell
は
me.
言わないよ
I don't
君の
want
プライベ
to
ート
pry
を
into
詮索す
your
る
private
気はない
life.
けどねただまあ可愛い
But,
教え子
well, I
ち
hope
ょっ
to
と
have
した
something
土
to
産
tell
話を
my
と思っただ
favorite
けさ
student.
な
Dr. Liskin turned to walk away before I could figure out what he meant.
それじゃレンタロ
Alright,
私
Lentoro.
はもう
I
ちょっ
got to
と
talk
院
to
長
the
と話を
director
し
in
な
a
いとい
little
けない
more.
から
So I'll be going.
できれば
I'd love to go around to all those girls and give them a hug too. But I'll save that for next time.
彼女たち
Tell them I
に
say
よろしく
hello.
あ
Oh,
はい
sure. My phone's going off again. I should have probably turned off my notification ringer before I started to stream. Mar and the others came over to me as I watched him go.
今の人
Was that Dr. Liskin?
ですよね。
Yeah, I knew he'd seen him somewhere before.
アメリカに帰ったんじゃ
He's
なかった
gone
で
back
し
to
たっけ？
America.
おかり？
Okay. There's no way I could tell the girls what Dr. Liskin and I were just talking about. After Fubuki's exam was over, we went over to her room and listened to her complain, and then the visit was over. Just like Dr. Liskin had said, she looked just fine. I told her she told us she was ready to leave the hospital and jogged all the way home. Maru and the others were relieved, but I felt worried. Did I need to talk to Dr. Liskin about Reading Center after all? How would I explain it? It might just be a better idea to talk to Maho and have her explain it to him. I couldn't come to an answer right away. Anyways, what's usual? It was a very hot day in 1998 when Shishua said goodbye to Kagiri Shina. She got to get food and water from a local store, and she came back to open the hatch, and Kagiri inside screaming. Oh, come on! How does this stupid thing work? She looked inside and saw that Kagiri was still slamming her tiny hands down on the control set inside.
お前、何を
What are
し
you
てるんだ？
doing? Huh? Kagiri shrank back when she saw Shishua.
違うの。
I'm not!
これは
This is what it
その
this is what it looks like!
答えろ。
Answer me.
なんで
But
目を覚ましたら
I
鈴
woke
葉
up
お姉
and
ちゃ
you
んが
were
いな
gone
くて
and it was dark and the lights wouldn't turn on.
怖くて怖くて
It's
苦
so
しくて
freaking scary in here.
だから
So I tried
ドアを開けたくて
the door.
それであちこちいじってるうちにこんなことに
What happened? Becker started to cry.
ごめんなさい鈴葉
Sorry.
お姉ちゃん
I'm so
ごめ
sorry.
んなさい
I'm sorry.
本当に怖かったんだ
I'm really scared.
そうか
I see. Shisho relaxed her guard. Kakagiri had PTSD from the time she was a war orphan and she hadn't really fully recovered yet. Mario once told her that she got very frightened in dark and cramped places. It would make sense if since waking up in the dark caused a panic attack. In the time machine, it could only function if she was a biometric authorization. Someone of Kakagiri's side wouldn't be able to break the console either.
お前は時間移動のショックで気を失ってたんだよだから
You
休ませ
passed
て
out
お
from
い
the
たんだ
shock
け
of
ど
time travel, so I wanted to let you get some rest. I'm sorry. Shishua grabbed one of Kakagiri's tiny hands to help her up, and then led her outside the machine.
暑い
So hot.
かがり
Kakagiri,
約束するんだ
promise me that you won't
どんなこ
touch
とがあ
the
っても
switches on
操
the
縦席のスイッチに
controls
触
of
っ
the
たりす
console,
るな
no matter what.
いいな
Okay?
うんじゃあ私は仕
I'm
事に
going
か
to
かる
get
から
started.
お前はその
You
辺
can
で
go
休
and
んでる
rest.
んだ
Have
飲み
some
物と
food
食べ
and
物は
water
適
if
当に
you
食べていい
want. Shishua handed Kakagiri the provisions she brought, then went inside to poke her head into Kago's space under the console control. She connected the IB-1500 she stored there into portable terminals and she brought from the future. By all appearance, it was an early 2000 cell. By all appearance, it was an early 2000 cell phone, but inside was a miniature quantum computer from the year 2036. Of course, Fujidaru had made it himself. When she booted up the IB-1500, rows of numbers started to appear on the screen.
何をするの
What are you doing? Kakagiri was looking from the outside of the machine.
2000年問題は
Did you
勉強
study
した
the
か
year 2000 problem? The problem where old computers were supposedly have an error after the year 2000. Almost all the old computers stored only lasted 2 digits after the year in order to save memory. For this reason, when 1999 became 2000, the computer's data was changed from 99 to 00. Since the programs never had equipped to handle this, it is thought that the computers would treat the year 1990 and malfunction. While an error it was the home user computer would not be a severe issue, only manufacturing in medical, financial, or military computers would cause disaster. For this reason, all programs across the world were rewritten by hand starting in the mid-1990s. The process was successful, and on January 1st, 2000 came and went without serious incident.
施設の学校
I
で
studied it
ちょ
a
っと
little
だ
at
け
the orphanage.
結局何
In
も
the
起
end,
こらなかったん
nothing
でしょ
happened, right?
表向きはね
That's what everybody thinks.
公表されてないけど実は当
It
時
wasn't made public, but
あ
at
れ
the
のせい
time,
で
lots of places
いく
and
つかの
lots of
地域や
countries
国に
had
深刻
serious
な問題
problems
が起きたん
because
だ
of it.
そうなの
Really?
問題だったのは
The issue
こ
was
の
that
IBN5100 というコンピューターなんだ
the
よ
IBM 1500
これには古いプログラム言語が搭載されてるんだけど
language on it.
そのプログラムの問題
And the
点を
engineers
技術者
weren't
たちが
able to
修
fix
正で
the
きなかった
program.
というより
In fact,
そんな言
they
語で
didn't
書かれ
even
た
know
重
that
大なプログラム
an
が存
important
在すること
program
自体
existed that was
全く知られて
written
な
in
かっ
this
た
language.
第三次世界
The
大
race
戦は
developed time
Time
machine
machine
was
の開
the
発
beginning
競
of
争
the
が
end,
発端
the
なん
Third
だけ
World
ど
War. But
もしかすると
there's a chance
2000
that
年問題で
something
発生
that
したあ
happened
る事象
during
と
the year
それに
2000
付随す
problem
る対立こそが
and divisions
もっ
that
と深い
resulted
原
from
因があ
that
る可
were
能性
the
がある
deeper cause. She didn't expect 10-year-old like Kakagiri to understand this, but she didn't feel like taking the time to explain.
しかも西
The
暦
year
2000
2000
年というのは
is
特
a
殊な年で
special
ね
year, you see.
全ての世界線が
All the world
一旦
lines
一つに収
temporarily
束してしまうら
converge
しいん
here.
だそれに関連して
This
こ
means
の問
that
題
it's
があらゆ
possible
る
that
世
the
界
year
線の
2000
因果に
problem has
重
a
大な
huge
影
effect
響を
on
引き起
all
こすか
the
もしれ
world
ない
lines.
私たちが目指してる
The world line in
狭間の
the
世界
gap
線
that we're trying to
シ
reach.
ュタインズゲート
Steins
も例
Gate
外じゃ
is
ない
no exception. She looked down at the terminal connected to the IBM 1500.
だからこれは
So this is a
2000
patch
年問題
program
を
to
起こさ
keep
ないようにする
the
た
year
めの
2000
修
problem
正プログラ
from
ムなん
ever
だよ
happening. Right now, the terminal was converting the patch into the language used by the IBM 1500. The next step was to spread the program all around the world in the form of a virus. In the year 2000, problems that this era's engineers missed would completely disappear. The word connect appeared on the terminal's subscreen.
OK
Okay,
つながった
it's connected. She's been told that in Japan in this era, ADSL was still in the test phase, but most normal users connected to the internet by low-speed dial-up using ISND. But in major cities like Akabara, university labs, and some big computer companies were starting to use the fiber optic band board, and some of them were using wireless LANs. Wireless LAN, a method of connecting the internet and sending and receiving data without the use of a cable. So, Wi-Fi. Fiber optic band, the high-speed, high-capacity internet connection that is used for optical fiber, also called it FTTH, the fiber to the home. Instead of relying on existing telephone lines, it requires the construction of a new communication network. For this reason, the adoption has taken longer than ADSL. As of 2010, 35% of Japan uses FTTH. Sheila cracked her way into one of those. Dad had laughed when he said that with the 2036 technology, cracking the late 20th century network security was a joke. But he had been right.
でも
But
未来を変
if
えちゃった
you
ら
change
かが
the
りたちがいた
future,
未来の世界
won't
も
that
全
change
然
the
変わっ
world
ちゃうんじゃ
we
ないの
were in? Surprisingly, Kakagiri had guessed as what Shishua had just told her.
そういうことだ
That's right.
もうあの世界は
I
存在
refuse
さ
to
せない
let that world line exist
私た
any
ちは
longer. So I've
シュタイ
come
ンズゲ
here
ートを
to
目指す
I
ために
came
ここ
here
へ来
to
たん
reach
だから
Steins Gate. Suddenly, an uneasy look on Kakagiri's face vanished. It was as if her soul had left her body. Suddenly, her face was expressionless and her eyes were wide.
声
Voice.
神様の声
Hear
聞こえ
God's
る
voice.
かがり
Kakagiri?
ダメだよ
You
よく
can't
な
do
い
that.
よ
It's not right.
ダメなんだよ鈴葉
You
お姉ちゃ
can't
ん
do that.
そんな
Big
こと
sis
しちゃ
Sushua.
いけないんだ
You can't.
おい
Huh? Kakagiri was acting strangely. Suspiciously, Sushua reached out her hand out towards her. But she slipped past Sushua's hand. And quicker than any child could be able to move, she slammed her soldier straight into Sushua's body. Sushua was caught completely off guard. That's how fast it was. Kakagiri's shoulder hit her in the solar plexus. Gah! She bent over and collapsed into the seat. Kakagiri toward the terminal out of Sushua's hand. The cable connecting to the IB-150 pin were ripped out and arrows displayed on both screens.
お前
What are you
何を
doing? Kakagiri didn't answer the question. Instead, she grabbed the backpack that Sushua placed on the seat and spilled the contents onto the floor. There were MREs, the spare parts, clothes, and the semi-automatic pistol. Sushua couldn't believe it. Kakagiri was going to try and pick it up.
やめろ
Stop it! She forced herself to ignore the pain as she jumped out on Kakagiri's body. But another unbelievable powerful body slam knocked her back. Something cold pushed her right up against her brow.
動いちゃダメ
Don't move! Kakagiri's hands weren't shaking at all when they clutched the semi-automatic pistol. In the space of an instant, the safety on the gun has been flipped off. That's when Shishua realized this wasn't just a temper tantrum. Shishua wasn't the one who taught her how to use a gun. That's why she knew that Kakagiri was perfectly calm.
正気か
Are you
今
insane?
すぐ銃を
Put
下ろ
the
すよ
gun down,
こ
now!
んな真似は
Stop
やめろ
doing this!
やめるのはお姉ちゃんの方だよ
You're the one who needs to stop!
何
What?
世界を変えちゃ
You
い
can't change the world!
おかしいこと
You're not making sense! There was no hesitation in her eyes. Instead, Shishima saw only resolve.
じゃあこのまま戦争が
want
起
the
きても
world
いい
to
っていうのか
Then?
そんなのわかん
I don't know anything about that! I just want to go back to my old world!
なら
Then,
もう無理
it's
だ
never gonna happen.
私たちはタイムマシ
We
ンで
already used the
すでに
time
過去に
machine
干渉し
to
てる
interfere with the
世界
past.
線だってずれて
The
しまっ
world
てるは
lines
ずだ
changed. There's almost no chance that we can go back.
うるさいうる
Shut up! Shut up! I'm going to save mommy!
この世界を消すなんて
You can't erase this world! I won't let you! Kakuri returns the board to the IB-1500.
やめろ
Stop! Before Shishiro could stop her, she yanked down on the trigger again and again.
やめてくれ
Stop it, Kakagiri! Please stop! And then Kakagiri jumped out of the time machine, and Shishiro never saw her again. On every night past, she remembered Kakagiri. Shishiro spent some time looking for Kakagiri when she first came to this era, but in the end, she never found anything. But Kakagiri Shina, who is now 22 years old, was here in Akabara. Shishiro was sure of it, but it didn't no good keep thinking about it. But Shishiro didn't stop thinking, and her dad was playing yet another game populated entirely with female characters. Wow. His jaw was slack, but his scratching belly fat was stuck out from under his shirt. As he played. There wasn't much to respect of him right now, as either a father or a person.
そういえば
Come to
母
think
さ
of
ん
it,
とはうまく
how
や
are
れてる
things with mom?
大丈夫
It's everything,
私が生まれ
okay?
てこなくなるよう
I'm
な事態
still
になら
going
ないよ
to be
ね
born, right? Oh,
なんつうの
well,
タイムマ
is
シン
that
よりもなんだ
not
い
more important than the time
ちょ
machine?
っと
Hey! Shishua stormed off to R2. Daru.
困るよ
You can't screw this up, Dad!
うん
Yeah,
パパ
Dad,
頑張るからね
that's okay.
いつも口ばっか
All
り
you ever do is talk.
結局
You haven't even wasted. You even wasted those movie tickets we gave, didn't you? You meant the pair of movie tickets that Maru and Ferris had conspired to give them at the Christmas party.
あれはさ
That was because Okurin and Miss Mabuki collapsed, you know.
その後お見舞い
We
と
were
か
so
で
busy with
バタバタ
hospital
してる
visits
うち
and
に映画
stuff
が終わっちゃ
that
って
the
たわ
movie
け
left
で
the theaters.
しょうがないっつう
It's
か
like, so it's not like my fault.
でもその後
But I heard that when they tried to give you new tickets, you turned them down.
ちょ誰に
Who told you that? Probably Ferris.
まゆ姉さんと
Big
ルミ
Sis
姉
Maru
さん
and
に
Big
決まっ
Sis
てる
and
じゃない
Rumi,
か
obviously.
それ
That's because, you know, it's not very manly to make those two do all the work, is it? Then do something, you dummy!
で
So, did you go and do something with yourself?
うん
うーん
Isn't
Damn it,
going
Kore.
to work. Maybe this was more important problem than the time machine. Shishua brought her hands to her head.
いい父さん
Listen, Dad.
私
I'm not going to be around to lecture you like this forever,
も
okay?
うすぐ行っちゃ
I'm
うんだよ
leaving soon.
あ
Oh. Suddenly there was a sad look in Daru's eyes.
そういう顔しな
Don't make the face.
約束したはずだよ
I promised I'd
もう
stop
迷うのやめ
worrying
にしようって
about it. For the past 6 months, Shishua has been thinking about whether it was really right to race in this world. Nothing yet. It was none other than Daru who pushed her to go ahead.
ごめん
I'm sorry. She couldn't bear to see her father so depressed, so she patted his broad back.
しょぼくれてないで
Don't just sit there and be glum. Send Mom a
予定
message
の空いてる日が
and
な
see
い
if
か
she's
聞いて
free sometime.
で空い
And
て
if
たら
she
映画
is,
に誘
invite
う
her to a movie.
ゲー
Yeah,
いきなりハードル高
that's
す
way too sudden.
高すぎでもなんで
I
も
don't
いいから
care if
誘
it's
いなさい
sudden or not.
いい
Do it
これ
anyways,
は命
okay?
令だからね
This is an order.
命令
An order?
返事は
What's your answer?
さあイエス
Sir! Yes, sir! Satisfied, she headed off to take a shower.
あでもその
Oh,
前に
but before that,
ちょっとだけ
I'm going to hit the convenience store. Ah! Don't glare at me like that. Oh, yeah, sarcasm. So please forgive me.
バニラ
Vanilla.
はい
Huh?
私
I want ice cream when you're done with my shower.
バニ
I
ラ
want ice cream when I'm done with my shower. Vanilla ice cream.
うんわかった
Okay. I'll go buy you a lot of really top shelf ice stuff. Can you even afford the top shelf?
いっぱいはいらない
It doesn't have to be a lot. Just one thing is fine.
さあイエス
Sir, yes, sir! That was enough to cheer Daru up. He took his wallet and ran out the lab.
やれやれ世話がか
That's
か
a
るんだから
handful. I do not know what UP sees in him, honestly. Just as she is taking her jacket so she could take out the shower. But,
鈴葉
Shisha! Daru has come back into the lab.
どうかした
What is it?
階段のところにさ
I
これ
found
も
this
落ちて
on
たんだ
the
よね
stairs. Daru showed her a keychain he was holding. It was a round anime character whose color has faded to a smoky green. It was an Upa.
誰のかわか
Do
る
you know whose this is?
まゆ姉さんじゃ
Big
ない
Sis
の
Maru's, probably. She leaned forward to take a closer look, and it felt like she was experiencing deja vu.
このウーパー
I've seen this Upa somewhere before. She's seen it before. She couldn't really remember when. But her her initial alarms are going off. This keychain was extremely... Wait! Is this the keychain that... Is this the keychain that Maru sent back with Kakagiri? Upas were common enough that you could find them anywhere. The plastic edge had worn down, the paint was faded and coming off in places. But there was no dust, there was no stains. Instead, it shone brightly, as if the owner had put a lot of effort in taking good care of it. The chain was so old that parts of it had snapped off. It was probably how it got dropped. Where was it? I've seen this before.
マユシに見せて
Did
もらった
Mashi
とか
show it to you?
そうなのかな。
I don't know. She stared at the green Upa in Daru's hand. And then in her mind, she heard a young girl scream.
ママがずっと大切に
This
して
is
きた
Mommy's Upa.
ウーパのキーホルダーだよ。
I'm giving it to you. Take good care of it, okay?
大事にしてね。
She gasped. A feeling of indescribable terror raced down her spine.
まさか
This can't be.
かがりの
Kakagiri's? That's when she last seen it. August 13th, 2036. The day she'd gone into the time machine. That's when she'd seen the Supa. It was older, more worn now. But the more she remembered that day, the more certain she became that the Upa that Maru had given to Kakagiri. So she doesn't lose it after all, because she'd seen Kakagiri holding it, crying to herself many times before.
かがりっても
Kakagiri?
しかして
You mean
未来のマユシの
future
娘
Mr. Maru's daughter?
うん。
Yeah.
見つかったん
Did you find her?
いや、
No. But
でも
she knows where I
向こう
am.
はこっちを認識している。
つまりどういうことだっ
What
て
do
ば
you
よ
mean?
あいつこのラボを
Watching
監視
this
してるんだよ。
lab. Satisfied, she headed off to take a shower. Ever since then, her careful efforts to bend the time machine had paid off. She hadn't seen any signs of Kakagiri, but she never thought she'd be watching the lab. Okay, so I guess I may be wrong, because I thought Fubuki would be Kakagiri. No, it would have been obvious if I had given it any thought.
実は私たち
She's
が
trying
シュ
to
タイ
stop
ンズゲートに
us
到達す
from
るのを
reaching
阻止し
a
ようとし
science
てる。
gate.
この世界を
She
なかった
doesn't
ことに
want
した
this
くないと
world
思っ
to
てる。
end,
ということは
which means
私だけじゃなく
watching not
父
just
さんも
me,
マークさ
but
れてる。
you too.
え
Huh?
僕
Me?
まあ
Well,
父さんの命
I
に
don't think
危
your
険は
life
ない
is
とは
in
思うん
danger.
だ。
Probably.
世界線の摂理を
If
信
you
じる
believe
なら
what
父さんは
if you believe
少
what we
な
know
くとも
about how the world
2036
lines
年まで
work,
は生きるはず
you
だ
live
し、
until at least 2036.
ただ
But
シュタインズゲ
it
ー
might
ト到
come
達
to
を阻止するため
interfere
に
with your
父さんの
research,
研究の邪魔を
but
し
we
てくる
can't
かもし
research
れ
the
ない
science gate. A lot of bad things have been happening around Shishwa, Daru, and Ritoro Okabe. There was some possibility that the final target was E2.
これからは用心のた
From
めに
now on,
私がいない
just
時
be
には
safe.
必
Lock
ず
the
ド
door
アに鍵を
whenever
か
I'm
けておいて
not around.
わかった
Okay, got it.
オカリンおじさんや
Even if Uncle Okarin,
マユ姉さん
Mom,
たち
or
が
Big
一緒に
Sis
いて
and
も
Maru are
絶
here,
対に開けっぱなしは
don't
ダメだよ
leave it open.
気休めかもしれない
It
け
might
ど
not help much,
Door
but
chain
make
も
sure
かけ
you
た方
use
がい
the
い
door chain too.
でもさオ
You
カリ
know,
ンやマユシ
Okarin
な
and
らともかく
Marushi
ア
are the
マネ
ones
シと
are
二
one
人きり
thing.
の時に
But
そ
if
んな
I
ことしたら
if I did what
なんか別
that when I
の
was
リーダー
alone
らしく
with
ね
the Maishi,
アマネシ
don't
に
you think
変
that
な
I
誤
would give
解
her
さ
the
れない
wrong
かな
idea?
それは確かに
True.
もしそれで嫌われ
That
ても
makes
した
her
ら
not like me.
我が
I
家の
hope
天
that we
使だ
could
を
be in trouble.
うーん
She was crying softly, unsure what to do.
父さんがもっと早く母さんと恋人になってれば 何の問題も
Only
ない
gotten
の
to be
に。
her boyfriend sooner, there probably wouldn't be a problem.
で結局そこに
Wait.
話が戻るとか
We're back to that.
とにかく
Just
注意だけは
be
しておいて
careful,
よね。
okay? Shishua decided to keep the green Upa keychain. She softly ran her fingertips over it as she stared at it.
なあ鈴葉
Hey, Shishua,
係たって
Kakigiri-tan
血
is
は
not
繋がっ
related
て
to
ないけど
Marushi, but
マユシの
she's still
娘
her
なんだよね
daughter, right?
そうだよ。
That's right.
あのマユシに育て
Did
てもらっ
somebody
た子が
raised by
人を
Marushi
襲うよ
grow
う
up
な
to
恐ろ
that
しい
kind of
人間
person
にな
who
るのか
who
な
assaults someone?
なんか鈴葉の話とイ
Can't
メージ
imagine
が重ならないっつう
from
か
what you told me.
もっと優しく
I
て
expected her to be a
ふわふ
kind,
わしてて
easygoing, and
可愛い
cute little
女
girl.
の子
だとよかった
I
んだ
wish
け
that
ど。
wasn't what happened.
うん
Yeah,
私も
I thought that was
前
how
は
it
そうなると信じて
turned
た
out too.
けど
But
今
no,
の係は
probably
多分
from what she had seen at the radio building, she could tell Kakigiri definitely had received professional combat training. It wasn't just simple self-defense techniques that she learned from Shishiwa when she was a child. As she'd grown up, she's been taught the cold techniques of. I have a new theory on who Kakigiri is. But let's save that for later. Dun dun dun! Now I'll probably talk about it when we're ending. There's no way to know where she's been or what she's been doing ever since she's gone missing in 1998. But there's no doubt in Shisho's mind that she was trying to ruin her plans. Shisho said as she took her shower. Since it was summer, she set the water temperature to low, but it was barely any hotter than tap water. As long as the water was pouring down on her, she could feel like all the bad memories were being washed away. She slapped her cheeks with both hands and turned off the water. A small tiled room suddenly became quiet. The silence. She vigorously towed off her hair. This building was never intended for anyone to live in. Not only there was a little room. It was never intended for anyone to live in. Not only was there a little room, there wasn't even a place to change. It was small and there was no windows, and the steam from the shower room built up, making it an unpleasant sauna in the summer. Supposedly, Dario Nokobe would sit naked next to the fans to get away from the heat and moisture. Of course, that was only when the girls, as well as Luca Gushabre, weren't around. But Chishiro couldn't do that. There was huge scars on her chest. If she was careless and Yuki saw them, she would have huge problems. So she always forced herself to change within the small space. The second she left the shower room, she realized something was wrong. The lights were off in the place. The lights were off in the part behind the curtain where the lab room was. She was sure she left all the lab lights on when she had gone to take a shower. She didn't remember turning them off. Still completely naked, she flung open the curtain. She dropped to the floor, ready to move. She could tell by the light from the shower room that there was no one else there. She didn't hear any breathing. She didn't feel any other presence.
父さんが一度戻ってきたのか。
Did Dad come back? And then when he left, he turned off the lights. No, that couldn't be right. She looked around the room and saw that things had been moved in a way that an amateur wouldn't be able to notice. Dario's computer desk, sofa area, bookshelves, even the mini kitchen. Someone had gone through them all. For the looks of it, the same was probably true of the development room. She glanced over all the areas where she kept her guns. The closet closest was the sofa that she used as the bed. She wanted to have an easily available if she was attacked while asleep. So she had to cut out the back of one of the sofa cushions and hit it on a suppressed cinematic pistol. It was just a 32 caliber for self-defense, so it wouldn't do much damage unless you got good aim. But it was small, relatively quiet, and which made the best choice for a place like this. Joshua tensed all her muscles, coiling like a spring, and slowly moved towards the sofa without making a sound. As she did, she tried to notice any changes in the was a small sound in the development room. It was tiny, creaking on the floor, which you would usually pay no mind. But that was more than enough for Shishima. In an instant, she moved from quiet to action. She cleared the distance to the stuff in an instant and quickly drew her gun. She held it ready and slipped into the shadow of the refrigerator. From this position, she could barely see into the development room. The room became silent again, but this time the intruder in the other room didn't try to hide their presence. Try anything and they'll shoot. Hands on your head. Come out slowly. Shishua threatened the intruder in a low voice, but the intruder seemed completely unconcerned as they expressed themselves to Shishua's gaze. Yeah, my suspicions are getting a little serious. You must be pretty hot wearing that in this weather. Why not at least take off your helmet? The intruder was wearing a motorcycle suit, just like it before. Even the helmet was the same. The leather suit clung tight to their skin, revealing a voluptuous and perfectly proportioned body. It's clearly a woman. What you're looking for isn't there. It's in my pocket. Shishua pointed towards the entrance to the shower room. The shirt she'd just taken off was there, lying there on the floor. The girl in the motorcycle turned her head, but because of her face mask was down, Shishua couldn't read her expression. You should know better than that, than to drop that. It's something Mommy gave you. Right, Kakagiri? The second she spoke, Kakagiri Shina was the first to move. She drew a deglossed military knife that she must have been hiding in her back, close the gap between herself and Shishua in an instant. Shishua pointed the gun at her legs and pulled the trigger, carefully aiming it away from her vitals. She heard the small pop of the suppressed .32 caliber and saw that Kakagiri lost her balance and fall. Or so she thought, but it was a feint. She only pretended to lose her balance. In fact, she changed directions and headed towards the shower room. It seemed that her first goal was to get what she came for. Huh? After firing only one shot, Shishua realized. Even a 32 could have more recoil than this. He fired again, but Kakagiri didn't even flinch for a moment. A blank? How? At some point, all the bullets in Shishua's guns have been swapped as blanks. And that instant panic is all it took. Kakagiri reached for the shirt on the floor in front of the shower room. No way! Shishua gave up on firing and pulling the gun at Kakagiri. There was a dull thud as the hard barrel slammed into her neck. Caught off balance, she staggered before she could grab the shirt. She could hear Kakagiri's voice for the first time from within the helmet. She would jump. She kicked out the off-balance Kakagiri as hard as she could as her tone bustled blood, so there's no time to hold back. Kakagiri went flying all over to the edge of the room. The had a broken few ribs. She just jumped towards and continued her attack. But with a terrifying speed, Kakagiri leapt off the ground and charged at Shishua. There wasn't enough time to come to a full stop. A sharp blade swept by mere centimeters from her exposed abdomen. If she was to pull back even a few tenths of a second later, the knife would have fatally sliced open her gut. You bitch! The blood rushed to Shushua's head. Kakagiri was serious. She was planning to kill her. There was no hesitation in her movements. Shishua leaped back, searching for something she could use as a weapon, but the other guns were probably no different. There was a good chance that they all had their ammo stocked with length too. It was even possible that all of her self-defense knives had been taken too. Which left. There are several knives carefully stored in the kitchen. Yuki brought them over to the other girls how to cook. But Kakagiri had evidently not noticed them as she was moving to keep Shishua from reaching them.
へえ
Huh?
ずいぶん離
Looks
れ
like you had a lot of practice.
とてもマシンの
It's
中
hard to believe you're the same girl who spent all her time sobbing inside the time machine. I'm surprised. Shishua kept her distance from Kakagiri as she slowly moved along the wall. Her competitive drive was burning even brighter as she tried to come up with a way to overcome her disadvantage.
ほら
Here,
カー
Kakagiri.
リー
This is what you're after, right? She picked up her shirt from the shower room and took a green keychain out of its pocket.
どうした
What's wrong?
着なよ
Come and get it. Her fingers moved as if to crush it. She could see Kakagiri twitch. For the first time, she could detect a hint of motion behind the helmet. In an instant, she threw them at Kakagiri's stomach. The keychain flew into a slow arc like she was tossing it to a friend. If it's something they love that was thrown like that, even the fiercest warriors would instinctively reach out both hands to grab it. Kakagiri was no exception. She carefully held out her mother's mementos in both her empty left hand and right hand and clutched the knife. Using the slow arc of the keychain as camouflage, she sort of ran at her in a straight line. Her right fist connected with the heart of Kakagiri's stomach. Then her left arm smashed Kakagiri's head to the side. Kakagiri's body fell to the ground, and her right shoulder taking a blunt fall. She could hear the sound of her joints dislocating. The knife slipped from her grasp. Shishua got behind her and mounted her, twisting her right arm mercilessly. At the same time, she slipped down her own left arm around Kakagiri's neck and squeezed hard. She could hear something like a moan from Kakagiri's throat. She could hear in both feel the bones in her arms, neck cracking.
おとなしくしろ
Stay put! I'm not going to kill you. But Kakagiri picked up the knife from the floor with her left hand and once again tried to use it on Shishua. Shishua was forced to squeeze her arm and neck even harder.
もうやめろ
Stop it, Kakagiri!
今の私には
I understand how you feel
でも
now.
やっぱ
But
り
it's
それは
wrong! It's wrong!
間違ってるんだ
But Kakagiri didn't stop. If anything, she tried even harder to pull Shishua away.
こいつ一体どんな訓練を受けてきたんだ
Even in all the battles she's been in, this much pressure on two different spots was enough to get even the toughest soldiers to submit or to fall unconscious. Terrified, Shishua squeezed even harder. At this rate, she wouldn't simply knock her out. She really would kill Kakagiri. But if she stopped Kakagiri, it would kill her. What should she do? Fix this, Shishua! It hurts! It hurts! And then she heard a sad, weak voice from inside the helmet. It startled her. She started to relax both arms. But that's just what Kakagiri had hoped for. The knife came very close to cutting Shishua's left arm. When she let go to dodge it, Kakagiri shook off her and kicked her hips to both legs. Shishua slammed back hard into the computer desk. For a moment, she couldn't breathe. She fell to the floor, and the printer and monitor crashed mercilessly into her naked body. She forced herself to stand up, grasping as hard as she did so. Kakigiri's breathing was heavy too. Her right arm was pointed at an impossible direction and hanging limb. She wouldn't be able to use it for a while, probably. But her left arm was still holding the knife.
お前
She's learned
随
some
分と汚い
dirty
真似まで
tricks,
覚えたんだ
haven't
な
you? She said directly at Kakuri's face. Not that she could see what it looked like behind the helmet. The two of them fell silently as they tried to catch their breath. The tension in the air was so thick that it was difficult to move a muscle. Sweat rolled down her forehead and into her eyes, but she still didn't blink as she waited for Kakigiri to make her next move. It was the sound of the front door opening that broke the stalemate.
おいすず
Hey, Shishua!
今すごい
Did I just hear a loud noise? Shishua felt a chill run down her spine when she heard Daru's voice.
あれ
Huh?
なんで真っ暗な
This
の
is so dark.
ダメだ父さん
No! Dad! Stay back! She yelled at the same instant they turned on the light. The sudden brightness was enough to make Shishua flinch for an instant. Kakigiri was wearing a full face helmet that made all the difference. She looked towards Daru in just moments before Shishua. Ah! Kakigiri's black knife went up to his throat. Dad! Yeah! Alright, now Daru adds the list of people who were attacked in this game. Kakigiri spun around him using Daru's large body as a shield. Shishua staggered towards him, gritting her teeth.
その手を離せ
Let go, Kakigiri.
父さん
Lay one
傷一つ
finger
で
on
も負わせて
Dad,
みろ
and I don't care who you are,
本当に
Kakigiri. I'll kill you. He has my ice cream after all. But Kakiri remained silent as she headed outside the door with her hostage. And then the next moment, she shoved him forward. Ah! Daru lost his balance and fell from Shishua. Shishua fell to the ground under his weight. Daru just barely managed to support himself with his arms and legs, so from gazing her, crushing her.
どいて
Move! Shishua tried to shove him off, but using a little more force than she may have intended. But Arjo was so huge it would take him a moment to get up.
だから痩せろって言ったのに
This is why I told you to lose weight! She was getting away. She somehow managed to crawl out from under him and quickly tried to follow after Kakigiri.
すず
Shishua! Where's this? Haru was still lying on the ground as he tossed the naked Shishua her shirt. Shishua grabbed it and quickly put it on and ran outside. But when she looked around the street, the girl in the motorcycle wasn't there. There was no way to even know where she's gone.
逃げられた
She got away. It would be dangerous to run around trying to find her now. There was a chance that Daru would be attacked while she was in at the lab.
今のってま
Was
さか
that
かがりたん
Kakigiri-san? Daru came out of sight as well.
うん
Yeah,
多分間違いない
I'm almost certain.
そっか
I see.
結局
So this is how it's going
あの
to
子
be
とは
with
こうなっ
the
ちゃ
two
うん
of
だ
us
な
in the end. The bruises and wounds were bad enough, but the pain that ached her heart was the worst of all.
私さ
You know, I
あの子のこと
really
本当
did
に好
like
きだっ
her.
たんだ
うん
Yeah.
小さくても勇敢
She
で
was small, but so
ま
brave.
ゆ姉さんを守
She
るために
always did her best to
いつも
protect
頑張
Big
ってて
Sis Maru.
私も
And
そんなあの子にい
I
ろいろな
taught
こ
her
と
a
を教
lot.
えた
I saw it
きっと
of her as, like,
妹みたいに
Little
思ってた。
sister.
うん
Yeah,
けど
but now
あいつはもう
she's
完全に
my
敵だ。
enemy. And I have a Syria and hoodoos. Darius straightened up his shirt sleeves. Wet sleeves.
今の鈴葉
No,
なんかエ
you
ロ
look
ゲー
like
の
a
地上
slutty
キャラ
girl
っ
in
ぽい
the
格好になってる
game right now, Shishua.
え
Huh?
お
What? Shishua was caught completely off guard. It turns out her t-shirt only came just beyond her hips, roughly the length of a miniskirt. Her breasts were almost completely bared. The shirt's hem was turned up, but she felt exposed.
まあ僕は地
Well,
上物が
don't
結構
mind
行き
age
口なん
games
で
for slutty
乱
girls.
れた
And I
裸 T
don't
シャ
think
ツ
the
という
whole
のもある
naked
といえばあり
experience
で
for a
すが
t-shirt
むふ
thing isn't
ー
that bad. Shut up, Dad.
またそうやってふざけ
You're
る。
being silly again.
大怪我して
You
た
could
か
have
もしれない
gotten
のに。
badly hurt. But Dario shook his head.
僕さ
Got
さっきはナイ
freaked
フ見
out
て
by
騒い
the
じゃった
knife,
けど
but I
で
don't
も
think
怖が
I
る必要なかったんじゃないかなっ
not
て
scared.
あれがもし
Unless
僕の聞き間違いじゃなか
I'm
ったら
mistaken. Atsu rubbed the part of his neck where the knife blade was.
ナイフを突きつけ
And
られ
he
てた
had the
時
knife to my
ほんの
throat.
少しだけど聞
I
こえ
could
たんだ
hear
よ
it just a little.
何が
Hear what?
彼女多分
She was
泣
probably
いてた
crying.
Huh?
Huh? Crying? Under that helmet? After the whole battle with Shishua? While holding a knife to Daru's neck? But why?
だからさ
So
決
don't
め
you
つける
think
のは
it's too early
まだ
to
早い
jump
んじ
to
ゃね
conclusions?
父さん
Dad?
の
アイス
Did you
買
buy
ってきて
me
くれ
that
た
vanilla ice cream?
バニラ
あもちろん
Yeah, of course.
食べたいな。私
Eat it.
ちょっと疲れちゃっ
Tired.
た。
Then she almost fell forward.
で
Ah! Dara managed to catch her before she hit the ground.
おい
Hey!
さ
Hey! Shishua!
ごめん。平気。
Fine. Let me rest a
で
little.
も少しだけ休ませ
It's all the energy she had to say. She closed her eyes in her dad's arms, and her consciousness melted away. Da-da-da! Anyways, back with Okran. When July came, the sun shone down even harder than on eastern Japan. Summer was truly here. The news has been saying for days that the heat island might might take the hottest summer in years. Yeah, I do use stream elements. I'm looking into other things because I need to work on some other stuff, but like so this overlay might change a little bit, but who knows? Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely goddamn right. What Steins Gate without Dokkan of complaining about heat? And then on the first Sunday in July, I met with Mahu in Akihabara. I was waiting at the open cafe at the UPX when Mahu arrived. She was a little late.
岡部さん
Okabe!
久しぶり
It's been a while. She ordered a nice coffee and took a deep breath.
と言っても
But you
いつも
know,
ビデオチャ
we
ット
talk
で
to each
顔を
other
合
all
わ
the
せて
time on video chat.
そうね
That's
あ
right.
まり久しぶりとい
I
う
feel
感
like
じは
it's
しないわ
not long. Her habit of paying no attention to her clothes or looks hasn't changed at all in the last 6 months. People are going to think she was an elementary school kid who decided to go play at a friend's house. Oh, wait, no, probably... I I believe this is chapter 5. So, and I played the original Steins Gate game first. So, this would be like, I'm about 14 hours in, I would say. Give or take a few hours, because that's just roughing the size of that, like, usually these streams go for, like, you know, a couple hours. I was right around. I should say, I guess I'm around the 15-hour mark. So yeah, I was just going by off of stream because I don't usually look at the save files. But it would upset her if I said that, so I never would. I had no idea you were here. If I hadn't happened to see Dr. Linskin, I never would have known. Found out. I was ready to contact you once things calmed down. We needed to talk to each other about Caster at some point, eventually. You hear about the new assault cases? Dr. Linskin is, at least. I'm his assistant, but I'm mostly in charge of Amadeus. Have there been any problems? I assume not, since I'm still getting my usual reports. Yeah, nothing really. Lately, it's been a struggle to deal with Caster, though. Hey! Speaking of the double. I heard a voice from my smartphone, which I placed on the table. What do you mean by struggle? I left the Amadeus app turned on. Of course, Caster could hear everything we said. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, how dare you? It's gotten a little ruder since we first met. You're just afraid of me now for no reason. Oh. No. I have a very fair reason to fear you. You just don't know why. Maybe. It was turning out that our old relationship in the Alpha World line, where we fight all the time, I was starting to lose track of whether it was a good or a bad thing for me. I thought I was trying to forget about Katsuru. You were pretty rude when we first met. That was... It's so rough on people when you meet them for the first time. You know why? Because they refuse to treat her like she's real age. The two of them spoke in unison. Oh man, I should have gotten some in unison with me. That would have been so cool. So I always get upset. Once I get to know someone, they stop talking about my appearance, right? So I can speak more normally around them, is all. I guess I was right not to comment on her outfit. That was a close call. Really? Was it really? Anyways, back to the Amadeus. It's interesting sign that Caster is developing a bit of a sharp tongue. The side of her she never shows me or the professor, right? That may be a sign of how much she's opened up to you. I have not. Mara simply smiled and ignored her. We can analyze the psychological changes as a code. This is a change we never would have seen if she's only been speaking to me and the professor. That alone means we're right to keep you on as an attester. Is that how it works? The Dr. Liskin was very impressed by this, too. say the least.
過大評価だと思い
I
ま
think
すが
you're giving him in too much credit.
実際
In fact,
私と話す
whenever
時
he
も
talks
文
to
句
me,
や愚痴が
he
多い
always
し
complain.
あまり
He's always
誇らしく
complaining.
ないという
It's
か
not very manly, you know. Yes, my phone again. Well, I knew my personality that's kind of a bit negative. Okay, it's not like anyone else has given them has given themselves PTSD via time travel. Especially given what I've been through. But she did really need to. She really needs to say that to Mao right now. An eye for an eye it is then.
ちなみに
By the way,
報告していな
there's
かったこ
something
と
I
が
haven't told you yet.
何かしら
What is it?
これはおそらく
It's
ピアジョ
something
ーさ
I
んやレ
don't
スキネン教
think
授も
you
把
or
握してい
Dr.
ないことだ
Linskin
と
are aware of.
待って
Wait! What? What are you doing to say?
話をしようとして
Tell her!
真帆先輩や教授が把握
Something
してい
Mao
ない
and
こ
the
とって
professor don't know?
私についての
About me?
栗ご飯とカメハメ
Does the
ハ
phrase Gohan,
Oh, yeah, well,
Gohan and Kanemaru mean anything to you? Hey! He's gonna tell us that she's an ad channeler! That's awesome. Yes. A few weeks ago, I'd actually searched for Hikiri Gohanan and Kamehara on a whim. It was the handle Akasu had used on that channel when she was still alive. Handle, an online nickname. It's rare for people to use the online nicknames on boards like Ad Channel. If a user does not pick a username, they simply display as anonymous. So handles, like my username. Nova. No, my real name. From what I've seen, the comments started in December of 2008 and abruptly stopped it in July of 2010. And then started up again in December of the same year. Even now, in July 2011, they're still appearing. If it wasn't Kazuru's ghost, and it wasn't an imposter, then the only one who could be writing those posts was Amadeus!
岡部倫太郎さん
Retor Okabe! Why don't we have a private chat?
やっぱりお前の仕業
Yes, it is! I'm actually gonna play it once I finish Steins Gate Zero. I'm a very big fan of Ace Attorney. And most people... And so I was like, I played the original Ace Investigation. I played the original Investigation game back in December. Well, yeah, that's because it doesn't have an official English release. So I can see why people probably skipped it. But I knew I had to play it! Because it existed. Yeah, I'm really excited to start it. Yeah, it's been too long since I played an Ace Attorney game. It's been like 2 months. Because it was like end of February. I finished A Polish Justice. Well, see, I try to take breaks between the games so that I don't just burn myself out on all the games, and plus it gives me time to play the Professor Layton games. Because actually, if you don't know, I just finished Diabolical Box on Tuesday. So it was you after all.
さすがに黙っている
Don't
の
you
は
think
まずい
it's
ん
a
だ
bad
け
idea not to tell them?
真帆先輩に報告するなんて
Oh, you should! They're so fun! If you liked the crossover, I'd say if you like the crossover game, you should give the actual Layton games a shot. And this is coming from someone who wants to at least play the first 3 Layton games before she plays the crossover game. So, that's just my personal opinion. You should give it a shot. It's the worst idea to tell Maho.
なんで
Why?
私がハートチャンネルを見てることは一言も教えてないからに決
me going on that channel.
堂々としていればいいじゃん。
Why hide it?
アットチャ
Not
ンネ
a
ルは
crime to
書き込む
read
の
or
別
comment
に
on
犯
the
罪
ad
じゃないん
channel.
だし。そうだろ？アット
Isn't
チャン
that
ネルは
right,
クリ
Aunt
ス。
Chandler Costeru?
あったね
Listen! Call me that one more time, and I'll start making up gossip about you on that channel.
それこそ犯罪一歩手前の行為だ。
Fantastic game. Wonderful game. It was a great game. I played that last year. I think I played it before Ace Attorney Investigations. Because that was about the time I was gonna start Polish Justice, but then the Polish Justice trilogy was announced, and I was like, I gotta wait for the trilogy to come out then. That's practically a crime, though. I couldn't help but laugh. Conversations like this brought back so many memories. I used to be so full of myself that I took off Coster all the time.
ね
Hey,
え一体
what are
何
you
の話
talking about? Nothing! Don't worry about it! Delete all your memories of today from your cameras, please.
隠していたって。
You can't hide it, but she's going to find out eventually.
あんたはいいから黙りなさ
You
い
just shut up. Yeah.
やっぱりあなたたち
You have gotten a lot closer over the last 6 months. So that means we have very similar taste in video games. That's great. I mean, we are going to be probably good friends. Biological. If you have completed most of the games that I have also completed, that means we have very similar taste in video games, as in puzzles, murders, and trauma. Ah!
先輩
Oh,
すみません
I'm sorry.
どうして謝るの
Why are you apologizing?
あいえ
No, it's
せっ
just
かく
it's
岡部
been
と
so
真央先
long
輩
since
久
you
々
and
に会
Okabe
った
have seen each other.
私ばかり
I'm
話して
doing
しま
all
っ
the
て
talking.
というわけで
So why don't you two take some time and chat?
別にそんなつもりで言ったんじゃ
I swear, every time I hear my phone go off, I'm just like, I really need to turn it off, but it's all the way over there and it doesn't get up. It's kind of annoying because people in a group chat keep talking, and then it's like, I can't say anything right now because I'm streaming. If I ever did it, she's probably going to hold a grudge, so this is likely a good place to stop.
栗ご飯って何なのよ。
There you go, huh?
どうしても知りたかった
If you really want to
ク
know,
リスに聞いてくれ
ask Casser. If I explain it, she'd probably get mad and refuse to talk to me again.
それで今
So
回
how
はど
long
れ
are
ぐらい
you
の間
going
こっ
to
ちに滞在する
be
ことになり
staying
そうな
here?
前よりも長く
It
なる
might
かも
be
し
a
れない
longer
わ
than
ね。
last time. Yeah, I'm really excited to get into some of the new games. Wait, it's a trilogy? I think I only have the first game on the list. Oh, I think I know why. I think I do remember it being a trilogy. I think I was just like, I think... Oh, okay. I think I was just gonna play, like, the Norita game, and then see if I liked it or not, and if I liked it, I would have played the third game. Probably. That's probably how it would have gone, to be honest. So... Like, you understand, it's just like, it's like a new series, and I just wanted to dip my toes into it. That's kind of how Steins game was for me at the beginning. In fact, I didn't even buy the original game for myself. One of my moderators bought it for me. And when she bought it for me, I was just like, well, now I have to play it. And I'm glad she bought it for me, because now I have a new series. Now I have a new series to get to fantasize over. It's great. And then it took a year for me to get to playing it.
レスキネン教授が研究している新型脳炎は未だに詳しいこと
Oh
が
no,
分かっていない
on my original playthrough, I only got to I only went through Shishua's ending on stream, but then I played the rest of then I got the rest of the endings on stream. Because here's the thing, I realized that I was getting like copyright strikes on YouTube like every time I uploaded a Steins Gate archive, and so I was just like, all right, maybe it's not the best idea to, you know, stream the entire game. So that's also what I'm doing with Zero. Is I'm going to see if I can, when I get to an ending, I'm gonna stop on stream, but then complete the rest on off stream. Just so that way, you know, copyright strikes don't. I mean, it's not that bad. It's just like I don't get monetization, which I don't really get anyways, and I don't really care about revenue on YouTube anyways. I just have it so that way, if people want to, they can go and watch my content after I'm not live. But you know, it's fine. I'm not really in the content game to, you know, make money. In fact, all that money I do get earned, I give away to charity. I do it because I have fun with it. I barely know anything about the new research.
もしかしたら私だけ先に帰
I'll
らさ
put
れる
that
可
on
能性
I'm
も
back
あ
on
る
my
けど
own too.
時間があったらラボ
We
にも
got
顔
time.
を出してみ
This
る
is
と
the
いい
lab. I'm sure
Dario
Dario and Maru would
きっと喜ぶ
love
は
to
ず
see
だ
you.
まゆりさんはともかく橋田
Maru,
さん
sure.
は
I don't know about Hashida. Maru was finally starting to understand that Daru's true nature. Speaking of Daru, he should be on a date with Nikki and Mai right now.
ちなみに
By the way,
クリスのノート PC
what
は
happened to Caster's
その後
the
どうしたの
laptop?
あれは
I
破
destroyed
棄
it.
したよそれが
It was
一番い
the
い
best
判
thing
断
to
だっ
do.
たんだ
I explained that to you
Mine is so
before,
honest
didn't
about
I? Yeah,
ええ
you're right.
そうね
She looked down and a sad expression on her face. I told her I was going to do it ahead of time, but still, it must have upset her to see it one of the last things she had to remember cross her by destroyed. It's not giving me strikes, it's just giving me warnings. It's just like as most people know, I'm not getting strikes, but I also don't usually have these VODs published on Twitch. I just throw them on YouTube and forget about it. I still have access to them here on Twitch for as long as they're, for the 14 days that I get them. But, Actually, I think this is a good place to end for tonight. I have some stuff to do, and I want to make sure I wake up early enough so that I can watch the developer blog on Genshin stuff tomorrow. That's like early in the morning because they're a Chinese company and stuff. And just my throat's getting sore, so that's also why it has to end. So, good night. Thanks for the follow. I should probably put the alerts, But before we head out, we are definitely going to be reading out to somebody. That's for sure. But the question remains of who is live that I can throw the raid to. Oh, nope. You need to go to Twitch to raid. Ooh, I got a lot of options. Alright. The only way I know how to is to make a decision. And that is, where's my D4? There's my D4. Rolling a dice! So I'll be back on Saturday for some more of the Pokemon, Indigo Disc DLC for Pokemon Scarlet. And so, I don't know what else to say here, other than, let's see what the dice roll. Gave me a 3! So we get to return the favor! And Rachelsome. She's an awesome girl. And she deserves all the love. And she's currently playing Phasmophobia. So I hope you guys all send her lots of love. And have fun and enjoy her stream. Happy fate. Pasta, why aren't you working for me? Okay. Anyways, good night. And, yeah, sure. Lots of love.